PFI and a CFI links. What do you have to say on that?
See, we have suspected links and we are examining that.
Namaste and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we turn the spotlight towards Karnataka and the details that have emerged in the Praveen murder in Puttur are very, very startling. While the Chief Minister of the state, who's back in Karnataka now, has talked about setting up a specific commando force, the larger question is it time to go out on an all-out strike against radicals, and especially outfits that are nurturing these radicals and providing them with cover fire? Your channel has exclusively accessed CCTV visuals in the run-up to Praveen's murder, establishing the movement of the accused. And what it shows is that there was nearly a 40-minute wait before the murder was executed. The vehicle has a Kerala registration. We've put together the pictures that we have accessed and also tried to weave the entire story of how these killers, how these brutes plotted and planned the murder and executed it. Have a look. At 8:01, where you can see a bike at the corner of the road, and that person actually waited for about 40 minutes. That's what happened. The whole drama happened between 8:37 and 8:40. At around 8:33, they actually go up to the shop, do a check, and then they come back. Now look at the timestamp, it's at 8:38. What happens at 8:38 as I play the video? You see this bike-bound assailant? You see him very clearly here. This is the bike-bound assailant and he is waiting here. Earlier he was seen walking around. He's sitting on the bike. A car passes, he's still sitting. He's not moving. Now what happens exactly at 8:39 is that this bike will start moving because there is somebody who's running towards him. And he sits on the bike, he starts the bike. See, there are now two people on the bike. The bike is started. You see the timestamp at 8:39, the bike is starting from here and they are making their way to this very spot. This is the spot where the entire incident happened. This is where Praveen's shop is. And that's where they are going. At 8:39:53, it's all happened within that minute. Between 8:38 and 8:50, it's all happened. And there is a lot of commotion. The bike-bound assailants, the drama has happened. And then now you will see at 8:40, people are running towards the entire incident because something has happened here. This is the spot where the bike and people are. And that's why there is a flash of the light because it's a night camera. And in that camera, vehicles have suddenly started and there is commotion that started building here because this is where Praveen was murdered. Who are these brutes who are practicing severing or cutting the neck, who believe that they can hack a person to death and get away with it? And who are the people who are actually giving these brutes cover fire? Is it time for an all-out strike on radicals? That's the big question, and no corners cut in this. Praveen Killing Outrage is the hashtag. Tell us what you think. Let's dive straight into the debate. I have Dr. Sameer Kagalkar, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, with us. Aditya Srinivasan, advocate, should join us. Kapil Madan should join us. But I also have TV Mohandas Pai, Aditya Srinivasan with us. TV Mohandas Pai ji is also with us. And we also have Dr. Sameer Kagalkar. Mohandas Pai ji, namaste. And namaste to everybody else. Let me first ask you, is it not time to go down and deal with such brutes with a hard hand? Why should they get the due process of law? Why should they be treated and their human rights be upheld when they believe they can walk around our streets and butcher people at will?
Anand, the Indian state at the central level and the state level has been very soft on these jihadi elements who across the country have created violence, killed people, murdered people, who march on the streets saying Sartan Juda, and where mullahs and others give out calls to cut people's neck, hang them and give money. The Indian state will put its foot down and put them all in jail and prosecute them and give out sentences. They must hunt them down because they created a fear psychosis by this march on the streets. For example, even in the state of Karnataka, we are told that the Siddaramaiah government released a lot of these jihadi elements who were put in jail because they did not want to prosecute them for political reasons. And the Indian state has been very soft. The primary duty of a state in India is to protect the life, liberty and property of all citizens. And here we are having open threats by people who are marching on the streets, saying they're going to cut your neck. In which country of the world where you march on the street, except in Pakistan where they do it often, will the government keep quiet? There's a fear psychosis, and these people have look what happened in near Mangalore with Praveen's murder. And we are told by the locals in Mangalore that very often hit squads by a jihadi element from Kerala come there and they kill people or hurt people and go back to Kerala and disappear. And in Kerala, that communist government is very soft with the jihadi group for political reasons. And the Karnataka government should put in adequate resources, should make sure they have this squadron, protect the life, liberty and property of people. We have seen during the hijab controversy also how the PFI and the CFI provoked all those girls to come out despite the local Muslims saying that this is not necessary. The jihadi elements are dominating the place, and the government has been very soft, trying to provide space for them, and the government has to be hard. Rule of law should apply. People's life, property should be protected. It is not happening all across India, and I think Karnataka in the South Kerala district has not been up to the mark.
There are Al-Qaeda elements being picked up from Bangalore. Bangladeshis who have committed murders who are being picked up from Bangalore.
It become a safe sanctuary.
Yeah, there are those. There are others who are coming there, and half of them, their nationality itself is of dubious origin. My point is, why should there be any corners cut for such people, and why should there be any leeway? If two people believe they can come on a bike with a Kerala registration, hack a person to death and go, do such people deserve a fair trial, sir? Or do those people deserve bullets right here, and an example be set out of them that you move towards the path of radicalism and you behave like this. This is how you're going to be treated. You're going to be treated like parasites and pests.
I totally agree with you. We have to be harsher to them because these are not elements who can be treated like you treat a normal criminal. These are hardened elements who are doing it for religious reasons in many parts of India, as happened in Rajasthan. They have been radicalized. And I think we must go after them because, we can't let ordinary citizens' life be put in jeopardy because the state happens to be soft. And I think we know in many cases who are these organizations which are supporting. In Kerala, we are seeing them marching on the street and giving out terrorist slogans. In Kerala, they're getting documents that we are going to rule Kerala in 25, 30 years, the population is going to go up. It's happened in Jharkhand. They're radicalizing, they're going all out, and the Indian state has become very soft. I want to know what New Delhi is doing. What is the Home Ministry doing for this radical organization called the PFI and others? In Bangalore, they created rights. And after the rights were created, government picked them out. But government should have gone after the organization to find out who are there. Why is the government becoming soft and not protecting the lives, liberty and property of citizens?
Because law and order is a state subject. Law and order is a state subject. Dr. Samir Kagalkar beat the left government in Kerala or the BJP government in Karnataka. What are you doing to go after these radicals? What are you doing to set an example? What are you doing to ensure that Karnataka is not a place for illegals and radicals?
Absolutely accept the fact what Mohandas rightly said. Of all places cannot be a haven for these kinds of dastardly brutes. As simple as that. That said, it has been a very, very organized way in which the government of Karnataka and the party in power, BJP, is working very sincerely and strongly to ensure that these people are put behind the bars as far as the law is concerned. Point number one.
Putting these people behind bars is not going to stop them, sir. Did they stop after Harsha? Did they stop after Harsha? Did they stop after what they did to the other boy in Bangalore? Did they stop?
Absolutely, yes. I completely understand your statement. Allow me 30 more seconds or a minute more. The point is very clear. As a starting point, as a first step, ensuring that the majesty of law is very brutally put on them is the first step. Now, when it comes to the next part, there are two aspects to it. One, completely outrightly ban these kind of organizations. For example, SDPI, it so-called stands for Social Democratic Party of India. It's anti-social. There's nothing social about it. And there's absolutely nothing democratic about it, and they've got nothing to do with India. If anything, the idea of India is anathema to them. So we are completely in agreement, in theory, that these kinds of radical
No, but Dr. Kagalkar, you banned Simi. They became Indian Mujahideen. Then they became some other outfit, which was a Karnataka outfit. Then these outfits from Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra, and Kota and Rajasthan, and all of them came together and they formed the Popular Front of India in 2006. And all of the founder members of the Popular Front of India are all original members of Simi. The Atar Parvez in Bihar, who's working with PFI and SDPI, he is again an old Simi hand. He is saying that he had people coming from Karnataka, from Tamil Nadu, from Andhra and from Kerala over there when he was conducting these workshops. So if you are going to ban PFI and SDPI now, they will turn around, go to a court of law and say, oh, we challenge the ban because you have not proven a single charge against us. 3-4 individuals doing something, if they come and attend PFI meetings, how are we to blame? That's the same thing which happened with Jharkhand. My point is, how are you going to make an example that radicalism has to be rejected? How are you going to turn around and say that if you try and walk down the path of this radicalism in our country, you don't have a place in society? You will be exterminated. Secondly, sir, where is your crackdown? If law and order is a state subject, where is your crackdown on illegals? You tell me, sir, 10 kilometers, 10 square kilometers around where you are right now in Bengaluru and where you are right now in Karnataka, you will find at least 20 illegals. How are they there?
Anand, as far as taking the drastic action against these brutals are concerned, the Chief Minister has made a very, very categorical and drastic statement saying that in 80 years, an anti-terror squad with all the resources and the power at its command to probably eliminate these people can be brought into shape, into action at the earliest. I go back to the case of situation of Punjab, when at the height of Khalistani movement, the government, the society took a very conscious decision. KPS Gill, he became a role model in terms of understanding how to uproot the terrorism, these kinds of radical elements. So all the options are definitely open. As far as the governments are concerned, both the state and the center are seriously seized with the matter. Now, what shape it takes in the next few days, next few weeks, we can wait and watch. But as far as the action taken already against the DJ Helli, KJ Helli kind of rioters, you see that most of them are behind bars. The due process of law cannot be just bypassed by the state government. But that said, are we not willing to take any stronger, stricter, and more extreme action for the kind of extreme behavior that they have displayed? We are open to it. Let me reiterate, we are open to it. The ATS is the first step towards it, uprooting the illegal, uprooting the rioters, and uprooting the radicals out of the state, out of this country.
Well, Kapil Madan wants to respond. Kapil Madan wants to respond.
So Anand, first of all, I would like to thank you for raising this important issue. And having said that, I would start by making making a reference to what happened in 2006. You may recall, Anand, in 2006, the government of India on record made a statement that the activities of Simi that was banned at that time, on record they admitted that yes, this is a radical organization and their activities have sort of increased. Now the problem with this government is that you don't acknowledge the problem. You can have the solution only when you acknowledge that there is problem. The problem is that they don't even acknowledge the problem. And I will just tell very basic aspect why I am making this allegation. Now you may recall when in Bangalore the hijab controversy happened, again there were news, again there were allegations that PFI is involved. When the Ram Navami violence happened in Delhi, again there were reports that PFI is involved. When Karoli happened, again there were reports that PFI was involved. Now the point is that if you are getting different reports from different locations that these radical organizations are trying to destabilize the system, then why don't you proactively make a strong watertight case and ensure that these organizations are banned?
Yeah, the point is it's not the organizations, it's the individuals who are part of this organization who are the bigger cause, because they will tomorrow start another organization, Kapil Madan. And now you since you are talking since 2006, let me ask you, who allied with them politically and said let's have a loose understanding ahead of the Karnataka elections? Who gave them a platform and shared platform with them in Kota and Rajasthan? Who turned a
Let
left?
me-
Who has so far not said that politically they are pariahs for us and we will never ever deal with them as an organization or as an entity? Those who allied with them. Which party has actually said let's have some political truck with each other? Please tell me,
So,
sir.
Anand, let me respond. So, you have raised two very important aspects. One is the legal aspect and one is the political aspect. Let me first respond to the legal aspect of it. Now, under the UAPA, if you ban any organization and if after the ban, if someone is a part of that organization, so that person is also criminally liable, the government can actually go ahead and invoke the stringent provisions of UAPA and arrest that individual so as to ensure that the environment and these radicals are not given a free hand and they are taken to task before they could commit any kind of an offense. So that's the legal situation. Now I'll give you a political answer of it. Now you may recall, Anand, when this gruesome Udaipur murder happened, there were again some reports that said that the PFI is
Sir, before that, there was a big, one of the founding outfits of the PFI is based out of Kota. Which party leaders were sitting on the dais when they were trying to march around, calling out for doing activities, conducting activities? Who set more than 400 of these criminals free out of jail and withdrew cases against them? Largely members of this organization ahead of the elections. That's the charge against the Congress party and the former Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah.
Anand, let me respond. When you are trying to raise the issue of terrorism, if you are talking about radicalization, you can't have one incident in isolation. I'm giving you concrete evidence of what has happened. Now, in Udaipur, you have direct reports that suggest that the person who has committed this offense was seen with big leaders of the BJP Rajasthan unit. Now, what do you make out of it? What do you make?
No, but the intelligence also, that state. No, 1 minute. No, let's talk facts, sir. Let's talk full information. Please. My request is let's not be economical with the truth here. I have no problems and I don't hold any corners for anybody, any particular party. For me, this flag matters and this country matters, sir. If I am a nation which is hosting 4 crore illegals, I have a serious problem with that. And the fact that you have not built up a consensus in Parliament and debated the fact that how are we going to weed out these 4 crore individuals is a responsibility on every single MP, irrespective of political party. Rather than sitting on dharna for the fact that somebody is questioning somebody, they should sit on a dharna to say, when are you going to weed the illegals out of my country? That's the dharna that I want to see. But my question to you, sir, is that the Rajasthan police itself came out and said that their intent to get and infiltrate these parties was to understand who are the leaders, what they are talking about, and how do we break, and who are the ones we should target. Their idea was stealth. This came from the same political party, that same state police. So that's the fact. The fact is, sir, that particular state and its chief minister so far has not said that we are going to work towards banning the activities of this organization in Rajasthan. They have not said that we will henceforth never ever allow any space for this organization to conduct its activities on Rajasthan soil after their involvement is there. The fact is that the Sarwar Chishti, who is a member of PFI, who is under the radar for investigation, there has been no crackdown on him formally by the state government so far, even with the Ajmer Dargah telling him that bar him for life and bar these people's entry for life. All these things have not happened yet. They have not happened yet. Anand, and you have still not, let's say in Karnataka, DK Shivkumar has said take action against the PFI. But the other faction has not yet said. So these are all statements of fact. So let me just bring in Aditya Srinivas.
Let me just give a very small rebuttal, Anand. I will just take 30 seconds of
your precious
time.
And then Aditya.
Now, Anand, you have very fairly said that there are reports that now suggest that these people infiltrated into the BJP because they wanted to know
that's the cops, not me.
I'll ask.
That's the cops, not me.
That's one of the reports. Yes,
Anand,
yes, that's the report.
Anand,
I said there is a report.
Anand.
Now, Anand, I asked the question. Now, if some
what are you doing? Let's drop this whataboutery, sir. I am asking you who allows them a political platform, sir? Who allows them a political platform? How are you pointing fingers at anybody else? Yes, Mohandas Pai and then Aditya Srinivasan.
You're not
no, sir.
Complete my statement.
No. You are again beating around the bush. You're not answering my question and you're getting into whataboutery. Yes.
I am not. Anand, I am talking
1 minute,
facts.
Kapil Madan. Please yield. Mohandas Pai.
Anand, please tell Kapit Madan to ask his state government to arrest those 2 BJP people with whom these 2 terrorists were seen. Why the pussy putting and getting into politics? Arrest those 2 BJP people for being accessories to the murder. Do it. Go ahead. What is stopping you? Why are you playing politics and using an example? Let us focus on radicalization. Let's focus on these killers and let's focus on bringing them to justice instead of saying my, tu and all this nonsense. Let's be very clear. Rajasthan government can go arrest those 2 BJP people. Go arrest them.
Yeah, if they are involved. If they are involved, if they did go cover fire. If these people were seen at a party event where they went to attend that party event, if you walk into a party event and you want to attend, I'm not giving any cover fire to any butchers. Let me just please very clearly say, it is what the cops have turned around and said what their intent was. I am asking you as a political party and as a political outfit, what is your intent? As an Indian citizen, what is your intent? As an Indian citizen, I have only one intent. I don't care whether it is a BJP, it is the Congress, it is the JDU, it is the TRS, it is whatever, it is the left, whatever party. These political parties owe their existence to this country. They are here because they are political parties operating in India. And for them and anybody else, India has to be the priority. And I do not want our country to become a hotbed for radicals who think they can walk around butchering people, sir. In the name of religion or whatever it is, hacking people, hacking anybody. If they think they can walk around hacking anybody, Aditya Srinivasan, then the state has to put the hard hand down and say, we are going to shoot you point blank and make an example out of you and say there is no place for radicalism in this country and radicals in this country. Every other day we are getting one response or the other, be it Tamil Nadu, be it Karnataka, be it Kerala, be it Assam, be it Bengal, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Uttar Pradesh. Everywhere we have people who are not, whose identity itself is dubious, Aditya Srinivasan. Who are these people? They don't represent Indian ethos.
I 100% agree with you. I think there needs to be a focus. There needs to be a focus group.
Yes, Aditya, and then I'll bring in Dr. Sameer Kagalkar.
Look, there needs to be a very, very focused effort to firstly understand the issue of radicalism. I mean, in some cases, it's so apparent and it's just presented itself to us on a day-to-day basis, as you were saying, Anand. But we need to understand the causes of radicalism and understand how it's being festered and how it's being spread, number one. And there needs to be a focused effort by all levels of the state. You know, one aspect is the prosecution or one aspect is the police, but a whole lot of other aspects need to look at, and organs need to look at this issue and understand exactly what is happening and why it's happening. That's the first thing I want to make. The first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is the issues with radicalism are also very, very constitutional, because our constitution has such a thing as freedom of speech and expression, but the way radicalism has worked is that it's had a very, very chilling effect on certain people and on certain communities. Some people are afraid to voice anything close to to being something similar to what might be taken to be foul and what might be taken to be wrong, and which might result in the kind of outcomes that the radical activities and the radicals end up inflicting on the people. So we need to understand exactly what all of these implications are. We need to firstly move beyond the prism of the political aspect. I think this is a national issue. I think this is a social issue, and it needs to be looked at together.
No, it does, and I want this country to formulate laws which says that anybody who's making a fake Aadhaar card or helping them should be booked under UAPA and should be treated as a terrorist. Anybody who harbors a terrorist should be treated as a terrorist. Anybody, any politician, any administrator, any person who allows illegal encroachments and illegal settlements and who knows these people are not Indian citizens and who have sneaked into our country and allows them space should be brought and treated like a terrorist in this country, because that's what they are doing, sir. That's what they're doing, because out of these 100 who will come here illegally, 10 will be radicals, and these 10 radicals will go about hacking people and trying to legalize themselves and encroach upon people. What are they doing, Mohan Daspai? They are eating on the jobs of our people. 4 crore people, if that's the unofficial estimate and a conservative estimate of the number of illegals in our country. Look at every other. Today he's deliberated Assam. They've got 5 districts, sir. 5 districts in Assam. 10 suspects in 48 hours, and half of them have got antecedents with Bangladesh. They're not even Indian citizens.
Anand,
It's
our
a very
police and
simple
the
thing.
government
It's a
has
very
to
simple
take this
thing.
seriously.
If someone is issuing a proof of identity or a proof of address, they need to satisfy themselves that the person to whom they're issuing the identity, the proof of identity
Sir,
or the proof
if
of
they
address
have done it,
is an
if they
Indian.
have done it for a few thousand rupees, I
Anand.
want that person to be treated as a terrorist, and that's how hard our law has to be. In Bengaluru, there's this guy who's involved with the Sylhet issue has been hiding in Bengaluru for 3 years with valid papers. Who made his papers? Get to the bottom
Anand.
of that.
Anand,
And chase
that's
that
why-
person on the middle of the street,
Anand.
treat him like a criminal, and book him like a terrorist under UAPA. That's the example
Anand.
we need to set, sir. Yes, Mohandas Pai.
Anand, there's a 10 to 15% vacancy in all the police forces across the country, including Karnataka. And I read that 10 to 15% of the police are engaged in VIP duty, protecting political leaders from the people who elected them. If you elect somebody and he becomes a minister, you need police to protect them. The moment he steps out, there is no police. We must reduce the VIP duty, put more police, hire more police, get more investigation capacity, more prosecution capacity, set up special criminal courts to try them immediately. So within a short while of them being charged, they are sentenced. So we send a message very clearly that we will not accept this and we will make sure that it works properly. More intelligence, more investment, more reconnaissance, more surveillance is required. Like you said, if people from Bangladesh are staying in Bangalore, Bangalore has become a safe haven for all these people from Assam and Bangladesh after committing crimes to come here. Does it mean the police is very soft on them? We need more action from the police. We need more investment too. The investment has been inadequate. We don't have enough police, enough investigation. We need to have the proper, because protection of life, liberty and property is the first duty of the state.
And not just that, sir. If law and order is a state's responsibility, if law and order is a state responsibility, Dr. Samir Kagalkar, then the Karnataka state has to show its might to the Kerala government and say, if you are going to harbor criminals who are going to come into my state and kill innocents on my soil, then I am going to take you to task because I am not going to allow this to happen. Then the center has to get involved and you have to work this. You have to first make sure that there is no tolerance to radicalism in your state, sir. It cannot be that let it happen because it will help us, because it will consolidate the Hindu vote for me.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I take very strong offense to this. This is not, and not even the least imagined thought of the party or of any party karta either. We are very clear.
I welcome your statement, sir. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that you're doing it. I'm just saying that we should not become the reason.
Thank you. Thank you. We will ensure that doesn't happen. As far as Kerala and Karnataka is concerned, we are absolutely clear that we work together. As of now I am talking. The Kerala CM and Karnataka CM are working in tandem. The DGP of Karnataka and the DGP of Kerala working in tandem, working at the ground level. 27 people have been rounded up in Kerala based on the coordination with Karnataka team. Now, there is no point in we trying to pick up cudgels and fight with Kerala unless until there is an issue that the Kerala government itself is protecting those people. Now, if they need to come with their might and arm on the extremist PFI guys out there in Kerala, it's for the Kerala government. But when it comes to Karnataka, the kind of a support that we are expecting, and we are ourselves leading the fight from the front. For example, the CM has made very clear ATS shall be started. The kind of people who have been put behind the bars in KG, TJ Halli kind of riots, they are going to be put under severe stress, be it UAPA, be it whatever it is. And as a party, if you look at the last 20 years, right from Vajpayee's day, we were the people who have been votaries of very strong anti-terrorist acts. It was the Congress government which wanted to sort of water it down, while we were very clearly that we need to have the POTA, we need to have the TADA, we need to ensure that we have got more stringent acts that will take care of the terrorism by uprooting it. Now, on the ground, if you're asking me, what has the Karnataka government done? Be it Shivamogga, be it Bangalore riot, all of the people within 48 hours have been rounded up. Now, we need to further speeden up with respect to the due process of law. Completely agreed. But doesn't mean that we are here without doing anything or trying to sort of making a belief that it's something that's happening on a personal level or a community level. We agree completely that it is something of a larger design. This is a jihadi mindset that needs to be investigated under UAPA, booked under UAPA, NIA needs to step in, and a larger counter-effective mechanism that will ensure...
Sir, what are you going to ensure you are going to go ahead and crack down on those people who commit an offense? My point is, how are you going to make sure that committing an offense becomes a deterrent? Somebody who thinks that they can go about butchering people, they'll think 3 times before they even pick up a knife or a weapon. That's what you've got to talk to me.
exactly
You're talking to me as where you will treat the effect. I'm not talking about treat the effect. I'm saying root out the cause. How are you going to make sure that your state, that means Karnataka, does not, you don't have anybody else who's hacked to death? How many more deaths and how many more people have to die before you are going to turn around and say, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to put an end to it? You're the chief minister, sir.
The legal part is concerned. Ensuring that they're banned and on the ground, ensuring that the ATS will root out every criminal worth his salt. Ensuring that they're completely down to the ground in daylight, broad daylight, if they were to be seen walking around with a knife and trying to sort of split the throats of people.
Because even now, sir, even now, and I'm going to say this, Mohandas Pai, they have not yet caught the actual culprits. We've got CCTV footage. Those people look like, because they are on a Kerala bike. So, but you don't have the evidence that they are the two ones who have actually killed Praveen. One. Secondly, that they belong to the PFI or the SDPI, they have not yet proven. More than 48 hours since his death. The other aspect that they have not done is that they have not yet proven that it is the hand of the PFI. How are they? It's a statement they are making, but the fact is they have not proven. That's what the PFI is saying. We've got nothing to do with it. It's a witch hunt. Prove it in the first place.
Yes, Anand, I totally agree with you. That's why we need to improve the intelligence so that they can monitor these radical elements, so that they can get intelligence about what is happening and try to prevent or catch them so they know who they are. You know, Anand, the sad truth is, in many states in this country, whenever a crime like this happens, they pick up innocent people, put them behind bars, and after 5 to 10 years of putting them behind bars, the prosecution lets them go. Under TADA, many young Muslim youth have been picked up, put behind bars, and left after 20-25 years. We cannot do that. We have to improve our intelligence. We have to improve our prosecution. We have to gather the evidence. A lot of preparatory work has to be done. And that is where the Indian state is failing. And we want the Indian state to be effective. Not just to a shusha and put all kind of people behind bars. Where is the prosecution? Where is the evidence? What is the track record? That is what we got to ask. Even here, special task force, special courts, round the clock, 24/7, gathering evidence and monitored regularly, a regular press conference to inform the public about progress. All these things have to be done. Most of the governments feel that people like you will take a hard stand and go to the next story and they forget about it. What has happened to all the crimes that happened in Shimoga? We want to know every week a progress report. I didn't put them on the web. Because government has to show its seriousness and not just response. Many government think whenever a crime happens, they respond and have a press conference and people forget about till the next crime. They get away. We must hold government accountable.
No.
As you write about the type 1 error and the type 2 error that you both are speaking of. On the one hand, Anand want to have a zero type 1 error while you are looking at a type 2 error. There is a balance that is required. Outright, as you rightly put, you pick up a wrong Muslim youth, it's a travesty on his personal life and freedom. At the same time, we need to ensure that there is no one who is a radical jihadist element is let free. This is the balance that's being worked on.
Sir, my point is, sir, you have to make an example of butchers so that you make sure you instill the fear in the potential radicals that that's not the route to go. That's the hard way. That's the stick way. The other carrot way is where you instill so much of a sense and love for your country that nobody will dare to do an act which is against the very vein of what we as a country stand for, sir. We as a country have always stand for differences in opinion, but to be settled with discourse, not with butchering and hacking. This Sar Tan Se Juda is alien to us. It is not our concept. To hack somebody because you disagree with that person is not our concept. That's what we need to instill in those people. But it has to also start with the stick first. And then you have the carrot approach, or you have the reconciliation approach. Where is that is what I'm asking you, sir. And it is a litany of instances which has happened in Karnataka in the last 1.5 to 2 years. And a litany of arrests that cops are making of brutes and radicals. That's why I'm asking this question. If you are going to go down and clean, then it has to be like a surgical strike. It has to be a strike internally in such a way that you root out the radicals and root out radicalism. Don't look at it the other way and be like an ostrich saying, oh, there is no radicalism in India. It is there, sir. It is there. It's a small number, but a small percentage. Sir, 0.01% of our population of 140 crore runs into a few thousands. And they are enough to wreak mayhem. That's the challenge we have as a nation, sir.
8 years antecedents of the government of India, of the BJP government, we are unambiguously, unequivocally
in
clear
the last 8
that we
years,
should not tolerate
in the
this.
last 8 years of this government of under the Modi Sarkar, the numbers say that the number of illegals is still remaining into 4.5 crores. Those illegals have not left this country.
You would appreciate, Anand, you would appreciate of the fact that prior to the
These illegals are, sir, these illegals are the ones who are running the madrasas, who are infiltrating the system, who are establishing themselves, and then they are running a system and they are trying to subvert the Indian ethos. These illegals are the one, a large number of them, who are present and who are troublemakers. And these illegals are somebody who are eating into the jobs and the property and the parasite and the resources of this country, which belongs to every Indian citizen, sir.
If you start looking at Assam, what exactly has Biswal Sarma
Sir,
has done?
why are they sitting in Karnataka? Why are they being found in interiors of Karnataka? Why are they being found in interiors of Karnataka, that too with kind of papers and credentials that show that they are from India? Who are these people who think that they can kill in Karnataka, go and seek refuge in North Kerala? Why is North Kerala having a Gaza street? Why is that being allowed? Why is Malappuram having a Gaza street? Why is it being allowed? Let's ask these questions and hard ones, sir. And then see, are we not turning a blind eye to the radicalism that's rampant around us? How are we going to weed this out? I have to wind up tonight, but this does not end here. Let's hope that all of us take serious cognizance of what is happening around us, and then and we start asking our policymakers, our netas, our leaders, the government or opposition, whoever, what is your position? India, ideology, or illegals? Thank you for watching this debate. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, our politics in parliament and just around it has been reduced to just sound and fury, ladies and gentlemen. Sound and fury. We show you what's transpired through this Thursday when we come back.